guests, ladies and gentlemen, let me at the outset express my sincere appreciation to UNIDO for inviting me to this important forum on partnerships to scale up investment for inclusive and sustainable industrial development, ISID. I understand that this is the second forum being held within the new mandate of UNIDO that we as member states endorsed during the General Conference in December 2013. The ISID mandate is indeed very relevant for development of the African continent as it emphasizes industrial development in which there is shared prosperity among men and women in all countries, in which broader economic and social growth is supported within an environmentally sustainable framework. Its unique knowledge and resources of all relevant development actors are combined to maximize the development impact. It also calls for mechanisms and strategies which achieve concrete results in terms of market access, employment generation, attraction of foreign direct investment, technology transfer and upgrading, export development and foreign exchange earnings, and also equitable labor policies, particularly in terms of gender, wage levels and benefits, ultimately for environmental sustainability. The new approach in particular has embraced a unique and innovative partnership approach which involves a holistic process including macroeconomic as well as institutional, social and environmental assets for achieving consensus among the partners on the priorities and resources from local and global actors of business, in governments, development finance institutions, research and academia, multi and bilateral aid organizations, and also NGOs. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Ethiopia is very much gratified to be associated with this new approach and in particular to have been chosen as one of the two pilot countries where the new mandate of inclusive and sustainable industrial development through new country partnership programs will be implemented. Ethiopia indeed stands to gain from UNIDO's sound technical cooperation, experience and expertise in the implementation of industrial development programs and projects. The cooperation with UNIDO within the new mandate could have come at a more timely moment. It has come at a time when the government of Ethiopia, its efforts for economic development transformation are geared towards enhancing gains made. Many of you will be aware that Ethiopia has had a very encouraging economic performance for more than a decade, averaging 10.6% annual GDP growth. Because of this shared growth, Ethiopia has also significantly reduced poverty and created inclusive growth in both rural and urban areas. The proportion of the population living below the poverty line has declined from 38.7% in 2004-2005 to 24% in 2013-14, showing a decline of 14.7% over the 7 years. The industrial sector in Ethiopia is now the fastest growing sector with more than 80% per annum, with manufacturing being the emerging driver of economic growth. Industry, along with robust agricultural transformation, a strong democratic rule, good governance and social justice is also expected to continue to be the main contributor to play a central role in Ethiopia's vision to become middle-income country by 2025. As you may well know, Ethiopia is a predominantly agrarian economy where subsistence farming has been slowly transforming into commercial farming. My government was fully cognizant of the need to chart a path to growth and development that fully takes of the need, the reality on the ground, hence its decision to embark early on the path of agricultural development-led industrialization. We have not only improved the livelihood of the larger segment of our population, but we have also laid the groundwork for a dynamic push towards the structural transformation of our economy by capitalizing on the competitive and comparative advantage of our factor endowments so richly offered to us. Exerting concerted effort on improving productivity at the level of individual households and factories also meant that there is a surplus of production that will, given a focused intervention from the state, inform decisions to investment. This has in fact been the trend, with more and more industries resolving to take advantage of what is in the relative abundance for their investment decisions. Ethiopia's effort to create a robust foundation for industrial development have thus been gathering steam to the point that industry continues to be at the center of our development strategies and goals. In order to maximize the contribution from the industrial sector, the government has decided to focus on the development of key sectors identified, including textile and garments, leather and footwear, agro-processing, chemical and pharmaceuticals, metal and engineering, sugar, and other industries. The proliferation of areas such as agro-processing and light manufacturing industries, including footwear industries, that stand to gain in competitiveness as a result of the relative abundance of leather and related products, has been steadily growing. For good measure, the government's relentless effort to expand technical and vocational training also means that there is a large pool of easily trainable workforce that can be a source of cheap yet productive labor force. In addition to this, my government is highly committed to creating a stable macroeconomic environment, and which has prioritized major investments in the infrastructure sector, for example, roads and railways networks, access to energy, water supply and waste management, and irrigation. The other key measures we are directing more resources towards is the development of industrial parks, with a view to gaining greater leverage from investments in infrastructure and improving the investment climate for accelerated private sector investments and exports. Key program of focus include upgrading and capacity enhancement of priority industries, diversification of manufacturing, enterprise cultivation, and improved linkage between SMEs and larger enterprises. While we have managed to build the momentum of transformation in these areas, the pace has not necessarily been stellar. Despite the obvious advantage we have in terms of competitiveness in the sectors I mentioned, we still have a long way to go in taking full advantage of the whole range of opportunities we have at our disposal. The level and volume of foreign direct investment, for example, is a far cry from what we rightly believe is an abundance of opportunities that my country represents. Our nascent industrial sector is not without its limits either. In areas such as agro-processing, leather products and garment, for instance, we lack commitment to quality, as well as the acute shortage of technological capability in the sector has largely calls for domestic industrial upgrading. Our efforts to build industrial parks, while encouraging, also suffers from similar challenges of either lack of finances or exposure or both. Through all this, we need partnership that will help us build on our successes, however limited, and address the myriad challenges we continue to face. In order to achieve maximum and meaningful impact of its intervention, the Ethiopian government is striving to enhance a partnership model that aims at bringing together a variety of stakeholders to focus on key selected areas such as those mentioned before. In this regard, in order to leverage different capabilities from across the globe, Ethiopia is increasingly engaging with different partners and countries, including the emerging nations like China and India, and developed countries from the East, Korea, Japan, Singapore, and other Asian countries, and Turkey and Brazil, to mention but few. That's why I would like to take this opportunity to call upon all of you to join hands with us as we embark on the implementation of an innovative country partnership program for industrial development. This will hopefully create opportunities to further enhance foreign direct investment, help upgrade domestic industries that have distinct competitive and comparative advantage on account of the very attractive offers we have on the table, and contribute to the realization of the bold vision we have set ourselves. Needless to say, this is yet another reason why we look forward to achieving a lot from forums such as this one. As I conclude, I would like to once again express my gratitude to UNIDO, and I look forward to productive deliberations and outcomes of this forum. I thank you for your kind attention.
Your Excellency,